Who's ready to crack some Mystical Archive cards? Let's go ahead and see what we can find. Hey guys, welcome back to MTG Bark Breaks. My name is Rowan, and today we're going to be opening up a new release set. We're going to be opening up some Secrets of Strixhaven today, and I am super excited for this. A little bit disappointed. We were going to go ahead and open up a collector box for today's video, but unfortunately, I don't think our Patreon is just quite as active as it needs to be in order for me to go ahead and justify opening up some of those guys. They are available. I do have a large supply of stock for Strixhaven that we can crack at any time, but you guys got to get onto Patreon, and we'll go ahead and arrange something. I'm not going to be opening it up for me, but I will open this, and we'll go ahead and see what we can get. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, guys, so because this is a brand new set, we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what this set has to offer here. As we have displayed on the screen, these are the main hits from the set. Not a big surprise as to what we're seeing here. We have all of the Emeritus cycle. The Elder Dragons are on here. We are going to see a few of the Planeswalkers. The Professor Delian Fell, along with Ral Zarek, guest lecturer. Those are going to be on there. Not a big surprise. They do seem pretty strong, especially given that particularly Ral Zarek as a 3-cost Planeswalker. Quite a bit of strength in that. Definitely some power creep in regards to the 3-cost Planeswalkers, which is good, because really, Planeswalkers is just not worth playing otherwise. We do have a couple of the capstones on here, but I don't know if those are going to carry a whole lot of persistent value. Keep in mind, these are all close enough to pre-release pricing that I do expect these to drop. And what I'm likely going to do is going to go ahead and make a probably 3-week post-release short that compares the pricing, just so that way we can get a little bit more realistic nature as to what we get from this box. But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. There is obviously the Mystical Archive cards that are in this set. Large reason of why people are very excited for this set. We have some bangers here. Force of Will, Vampiric Tutor, Jessica's Will, Cyclonic Rift. I wish that we could get some of the Japanese alt art in some of these. The Japanese alt art is beautiful in this set, and I really can't wait for us to be able to open up some collector products, but we'll just have to be patient on that. In the meantime, though, these are still some pretty good looking cards, and I am super excited to see if we can crack one of these open. We'll go ahead and see what we can get. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and dig right in here and see what we can get. I'm super excited for this, and I hope that you guys all had a fantastic pre-release weekend and were able to go ahead and enjoy this set. I have a feeling that this will be one of those sets that will be top for the year for sure, though I am interested to see what Reality Fractured has to offer. We'll go ahead and see what we got. Let's see here. Okay. I will be setting one pack aside. This will be entered into the booster bonus for our giveaways, which will be at the end of the video, but we'll go ahead and see what we get here. Okay, yeah, advertising Secret Lair. I don't think they need to do that anymore. They've honestly been throwing Secret Lairs at us like crazy lately. Who's into Secret Lair releases? Give me a shout out on there for those who kind of look into and keep up with the Secret Lair releases, on a regular basis. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. We are a box breaking channel that likes to go ahead and celebrate our pets, animals that are in need, and shelter animals. But in the same token, we are also trying to do our cracks a little bit differently. We know that there's a lot of scams out there, and we really want people to feel really comfortable with what they're seeing here. So we have a transparency camera that's right over here that shows you everything that's going on the table, and that way you don't have to worry that anything is happening with your cards. They are coming fresh from the box, and all packs are open up at a random, at a random rate. So that way we can keep things honest here. We're going to go ahead and push these off screen. Again, they are visible on the transparency camera, so that way we can go ahead and really enjoy the cards. I am taking one pack that will be entered into our booster bonus. So just FYI, in case you see that off screen, that's what that one is there for. But let's go ahead and dig right in. We're going to be looking at 29 packs, the remainder of the box, and see what we get. So Tell me what is broken in this set. We will go ahead and slow roll maybe the first 2 or 3 boosters and then try and go directly towards the meaty stuff. But yeah, I did not get a chance to get out to pre-release weekend for this set. Really wish that I had, but unfortunately I had other obligations. Tell me what really just like caught your eye. What were the really cool cards that maybe we have been going under the table here? We know a lot of the heavy hitters, but is there anything that, you know, we think that might be a hidden gem here that might get some value later? Definitely write something in the comments. We got starting with the Rehearsed Debater. We also have a Spellbook Seeker, Seize the Spoils, Hungry Graphalon, Sneering Shade Rider, Wilt in the Heat, Biblioplex Tomekeeper, sorry, Snooping Page, Environmental Scientist, Molten Note, and we start off with a Sky Coach Conductor. Going to be starting off with our very first prepared mechanic. Nothing super impressive on this one. All aboard. We got a 2/3 that costs 3. Not bad for that exchange with Flying Vigilance and Flash. Okay, that by itself is pretty solid. It does enter prepared. Doesn't have a way to prepare itself again. And you can cast the all aboard instant. Exile target non-pilot creature you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Basically flashing your creature. That is pretty cool. And we're going to follow that up with a Shared Roots, uncommon Mystical Archive card. Beautiful art. Love that. And then the Mage Tower Referee and foil, along with a Spectacle Summit. And looks like they're adding in these little token cards into the packs now. Interesting. Okay. Interesting start. Nothing super remarkable, but, you know, we're just gonna getting our feet wet here, and I'm sure we'll find some pretty cool stuff. Let's see what we get here. Okay. Rapier Wit. Deluge Virtuoso. Expressive Fire Dancer. Follow the Lumerettes. Terrafractal. That's pretty cool. I do love the fractal mechanics. I think that that's, you know, a pretty nice thing. Obviously, it's going right off the Hydras, but, you know, I think the idea of it being kind of like this fractal-esque kind of creature, I just think it's cool. Biblioplex Tomekeeper, Stress Dream, Lumerette's Favor, Lorehold Charm. We got the first of the charms. I do wonder whether or not these will kind of pump up in value. The charms did look pretty cool. Leech Collector with Bloodletting attached to it. That's pretty cool. And then Molten Core Maestro. Got a 2/2 that costs 2 with Menace. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you can put a 1/1 counter on this creature. If you have 5 or more mana that was spent to cast that spell, add an amount of red mana equal to this creature's power. I could see that taking off pretty quick. Pretty cool. Monstrous Rage, uncommon. I get the feeling there's going to be a lot of uncommons for the Mystical Archive in here. And Foil Root Manipulation. Very cool. Very nice full art swamp there. And an Inkling token. I am also excited for the Inklings to be coming back. Okay. Pack number 3. Okay, this will be the last one that we kind of slow roll, and then we're going to go ahead and dive right into the meat of this, probably skip through a lot of the commons. I can't imagine there's going to be a lot of reported value in the commons as of right now. This set is going to be widely opened. The commons are probably not going to hold much value, but uncommons and rares, mythics, I think that should be fine. Elite Interceptor, Chase Inspiration, Rebel Rouser, Wild Hypothesis, Pest Mascot, Stadium Title Mage, Ink Shape Demonstrator, Old Growth Educator, Vibrant Outburst, and Resonating Loot. I saw this one online earlier. This is pretty cool. A artifact that costs 4 with a blue-red as a combination. Lands you control have tap to add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast instants and sorcery spells. Great for your prepared mechanic. And then we also have tap, draw a card, activate only if you have 7 or more cards in your hand. Very cool. Ooh, we got a double rare. We got also a Storm Carved Coast. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more lands. I think that they called these guys the slow lands, if I remember correctly, but we'll see what, see what that is. I might be wrong there. Nice. Okay. And then we got a Bitter Triumph. Again, uncommon Mystical Archive. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card and pay 3 life, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Along with a Summoned Dromedary in foil. Ooh, 2 foils. A Titan's Grave as well. Very cool. And then we got a Fractal Spirit token. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of the set and see what we can get in terms of value. If there are any commons that are particularly worth time, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I can't imagine there's going to be too much that, are going to be notable just yet, but let me know if there's anything I should be keeping an eye out for. Got a Sky Coach Waypoint. This is that uncommon land that is capable of re-preparing your creatures. That's pretty cool. Love that. Graduation Day. Growth Curve. And a Joined Researcher with Secret Rendezvous attached. Pretty cool. Okay, ooh. And we have a Magma Blood Archaic. And it's, what is this art? This is it's the showcase art, but I think this is the similar art as what they did with Avatar and also with Brothers War. I'll have to look it up. I'll probably write it on screen, but very cool. We also have a Spell Pierce, uncommon counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2 for 1. Stone Docent in foil, and a Fields of Strife with an elemental treasure token. Okay, cool. Not bad. Nothing crazy, I don't think, but we'll go ahead and see what that maths out to. I'm not sure if those Archaics are going to really maintain a whole lot of value, to be frank. I think that they probably are going to drop pretty fast. But the treatment's cool. Let's go ahead and see here. Like I said, I am disappointed that we are not opening up some collector packs today, but they are all here. I did get one message from one viewer that said that they were in, but we needed to just kind of wait a little bit, while he gets his funds together. That's fine. Like, I'm not in any rush to open these things, guys, and I'll try and honor the prices, even if these things rise. I'm just trying to cover my bases, but, I want to make it something that's, sustainable for you guys as well. Hopefully we find something that works. Wisdom of Ages. Return all instants and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game, and then you exile this spell. I saw this one, during pre-release. I just feel like this one is just overcosted for what it does. It's cool, but it just costs too much. Suspend Aggression. Exile target non-land permanent and the top card of your library. For each of those cards, its owner may play it until their next turn. That one I can see, not being bad. That's pretty cool. We got a rare now. Calling Ritual. Destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Add black or green mana for each permanent destroyed this way. That is pretty cool. Love that. And, ooh, Foil Mythic. Nice. We got the Foil Mythic Dawning Archaic. I think this is maybe a little bit of a chase card, but not bad. 7/7 that costs 10. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. It does have reach, and whenever the Dawning Archaic attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell will be put into the graveyard, exile it instead. I want to know whether or not that actually counts for the prepared spells. I'm presuming not. Like, if you have a prepared creature with a spell attached to it in your graveyard, does that count? I doubt it, but let me know if I'm wrong. Got a Pest Fractal token to close that out. Not doing bad on the multi-rare packs. I would like to see a little bit more value come up, but we'll see what happens. Okay, we got Wandering Off, Honor-Bound Page, Hydro Chandler, Rearing Ember Mare, Visionary Dance, Potioner's Trove, Emil Vaslin's Roamer, Anise, Debate Moderator, and Scolding Administrator, along with an Encouraging Aviator with jump attached to it, and the Mosio Vane's New Dean. I've seen this one pop up in so many cracks that I doubt that one's going to hold a lot of value. Repel Calamity, Uncommon Mystical Archive, and then Imperious Ink Mage in foil, along with the Titan's Grave non-foil. Okay, cool. Let's keep this rolling. Okay, I'm glad we are staying within Universe. I'm tired of going out of Universe. I think I might kind of cut down on some of my supply for the Universes Beyond stuff. I really don't think it's just my cup of tea. Sorry for the viewers that really like it. I'll probably keep enough for some people to buy in, but it's not going to be my thing. Cost of Brilliance, Interjection, Deluge, Virtuoso, Tackle Artist, Oracle's Restoration, Imperious Ink Mage, Terrafractal, End of the Hunt, Flow State. I think that was one of the cards that is uncommon that does carry a little bit of value. We'll see. Startled Relic Sloth and Antiquities on the Loose. Rare. Along with an uncommon Abrade. The colors on this look just slightly washed out. I don't know if anyone else is appreciating that. I think it's okay. It's just the contrast between the red and blacks is just really tough to read. Foolish Fate, uncommon. And Swamp, along with an Inkling and a Spirit. Okay. Gonna be our second to last Universes Within set of the year. I think if there's anything that I do get some more supply for, it's probably going to end up being The Hobbit. You know, that would be Universes Beyond, just because I know that that one will be popular. But I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to end up getting. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of reprints in that set. Including Mascot, Silver Quill, Charm, Matter Bending Mage, Eternal Student, Artistic Process. Ah, there we go. Witherbloom the Balancer. So that one's got a little bit of value. In fact, that one's actually our third highest hits. Sitting at around $17 at this stage, and we will see where that goes. Duty Beyond Death, Uncommon Mystical Archive, along with Quick Study in foil. And a nice Full Art Island Elemental Fractal token. Great. So we're not at a complete loss. Not bad. Let's see what else we can find here. Has anyone been cracking open collector boxes or packs of this set? Let me know what you've hit. Has anyone kind of pulled the big silver, silver screen foils, anything like that? I'd be interested to see what people have been getting. I know that the that Japanese art for Vampiric Tutor is just absolutely off the wall. It's so hot. Topiary Lecturer, Killian Confidence, Homesickness, and Mathemagics. I would be surprised if this one doesn't accrue value with time. I think that this is probably undervalued and honestly a really cool idea. I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that are not math people. You got your cheat sheet written on there. Like, you don't need it. So, cool card. I'm excited to see what happens with that. Bulk Up, uncommon. And then Abigail, Poet Laureate, uncommon foil. With a foil full art mountain and a fractal pest token. Okay. Yeah, singles for this set, I get the feeling, are going to plummet pretty hard just because, like I said, this set is going to be opened like crazy. Even the Mystical Archive cards are probably not going to hold a lot of value. But at the same time, they are gorgeous cards, very playable, and a lot of fun. And I strongly encourage you guys to crack some of this set and play with it, because I really think that obviously that's the whole purpose of this game. But this is a great set, and I've heard really, really good things. Thunderdrum Soloist, Spirit Call Enthusiast, Teacher's Pest, Fractalize, with a Cauldron of Essence and a Hop to It. Nice. With a foil Oracle's Restoration. Centering is god-awful on that one. And Forum of Amidity. with a Fractal Inkling token. Okay. Run behind, Tomb Blast, Shopkeeper's Bane, Pull from the Grave, Anji's Response, Grapple with Death, Lewin, Exchange Student, Tester of the Tangential, Abigail, Poet Laureate, and Jadzi, Steward of Fate, with an Oracle's Gift attached to it. And then another Dawning Archaic. Non-foil this time. Expressive Iteration. Nice. We got a rare. That's pretty cool. Look at the top 3 cards in your library. Put one of them into your hand. Put one of them into the on the bottom of your library and exile one of them. You may play the exiled card this turn. We also have a foil Adaptive Evolution and a Paradox Gardens with an Elemental Treasure token. Cool. Nice pack there. I think that was a triple rare pack. Varog Banemaker. Rapier Wit. Landscape Painter. Strife Scholar. Efflorescence. Grapple with Death. Thornfist Striker. Blazing Fire Singer. Daydream. Silver Quill Charm. Fix What's Broken. That's our rare. As an additional cost, cast the spell. To cast a spell, pay X life. Return each artifact and creature card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's pretty cool, I guess. Giant's Growth, uncommon, and a Spirit Mascot. Again, the centering on these foils is not good. Not good. Forest, Inkling, and Spirit Token. Okay. What house best represents you? Either as a Magic player or as just an individual. What house is your favorite? What house do you think is the one that resonates with you the most? Quick Study, Unsettle, Mockery, Mindful, Biomancer, Ulna, Alley, Shopkeeper, Rehearsed Debater, Page Loose Leaf. I do wonder whether or not that one might kind of maybe pop in value a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not sold on that one. It is a cool card, though. Elemental Mascot, Harsh Annotation, Rapturous Moments, Transcendent Archaic, that's an uncommon, and then Slumbering Trudge. Cool card. I think it's a cool concept. It's probably not going to be worth much. Got a Feed the Swarm, uncommon, great art. And a foil Mind Roots with a foil Forest and Fractal Spirit Token. Not all the foils are terribly centered. It's just a few of them, it seems. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's okay. So I think this is a pretty good representation on these play packs as to how many uncommon mystical archives you're going to be hitting. It definitely seems like a lot of it. If you're looking for the rares and mythics and you're able to get them, your collector boosters are going to be the place to get them for sure. Impractical Joke, Fractal Tender, Arnin, Deathbloom Botanist, Divergent Equation, Comforting Counsel, Helping Hands, ooh, and a foil Bitter Triumph. Uncommon. I didn't know that you could get foils of the Mystical Archive cards in here. That's pretty cool. Okay. And we also have a Mountain and Junk card. It's a shame that that Mystical Archive foil wasn't something a little bit more impressive. I think I saw something on Reddit where a guy got a Force of Will foil Mystical Archive in a play pack, and I was just like, oh, that's awesome. That would be a absolutely banger hit. Matter Bending Mage, Eternal Student, Artistic Prowess, Zafi, and the Tempest, the banned card. Super Interesting. It is literally a band. Like, I wasn't sure that that's what it meant, but it literally is a picture of a bunch of, you know, mages in a band. That's quite wild. We also have a Sundown Pass, another slow land, I believe it is. Deduce, uncommon, and a Ulna Alley Shopkeeper in foil with a Titan's Grave Fractal Pest token. I don't think this is showing up to be the best of boxes, but I also think that for those people that really want to open up this set, if you're looking for value in this set, it's going to be in the collector packs. They're just loaded. The play packs, they're good for play. It's a good set, but they're not going to hold much value because, again, it's just going to be widely opened. And that's okay. Prismari Charm, Summoned Dromedary, Aberrant Mana Worm, Mind into Matter. That's interesting, instead of it being Mind over Matter. X, green, blue. Draw X cards, then you may put permanent card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. I think that's probably going to be a pretty good card. That seems really strong to me. You have a borderless Sundown Pass. It's pretty awesome. And a Knockout Maneuver, uncommon. Mystical Archive, and a foil Tablet of Discovery with a full art Plains, Fractal, and Spirit token. Not a lot of variety on the tokens. I don't know if there's any kind of particularly interesting one. I think there's at least a few emblems that should be in here. But, not sure if there's going to be any particularly interesting ones. Don't know if any of you guys caught my collection by where I cracked open, or not really cracked, but, you know, managed to find a host of reasonable value tokens from Kamigawa Neon Destiny within it. That was that was a lot of fun. Definitely check out that video. It should have been the last video in reference to this one. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that one. Pain in the butt to edit. Holy crap. But yes. Corral History Buff. Proctor's Gaze. Poisoner's Apprentice. Simone's Experiment. And Moment of Reckoning. We have it. Oof, God, the cost on this. Okay, 7 cost. Choose up to 4. You may choose the same mode more than once. Destroy target non-land permanent, so you could do that more than once. Or return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Definitely a game changer of sorts, but the cost on it, and it's a sorcery. Like, if that was an uncommon, I could see that maybe being okay. I'm sorry, not an uncommon, a instant. But as a sorcery, Sleight of Hand, uncommon, Mystical Archive, Biblioplex, Tomekeeper in foil, and a Forest with a Fractal Pest token. It definitely feels like this set is intended to kind of draw out games in Standard. I don't know if that's actually going to work. Certainly within Limited, I think it will do its job, but kind of mixing in with the rest of, you know, the Standard sets right now, I don't see it slowing games down. I think that really just many of them are going to be too expensive to be very playable. Lecturing Scorn Mage. Tam Observant Sequencer with a Deep Sight attached to it. A Quillblade Laureate with a twofold Intent. Emeritus of Abundance. Okay, we got one of the Emeritus cycle. It's the green Emeritus with Regrowth. 3/4 that costs 3 with Vigilance, and it comes in prepared. I mean, that already is really, really good. And then whenever this creature attacks, if you control 8 or more lands, you can prepare it again. I think that one's not bad. I can't remember if this one is one of the notable ones in value. I don't think it is, but, you know, it's probably going to be a couple bucks. Royal Treatments, uncommon, Mystical Archive, Wild Hypothesis, Form of Amity, and then Elemental Treasure. So glad that in the collector packs, there is at least like a guaranteed foil, a guaranteed rare or mythic for the Mystical Archives, just because they seem to be really hard to hit. I can't remember what the percentages are, but I'm not surprised. I think that if I remember correctly, there's only like maybe 2 or 3 per box, not very many. That might make that pack I set aside pretty good. We'll have to see. Ascendant Dusk Speaker, Procrastinates, Ancestral Anger, Studious First Year, Cost of Brilliance, Bog Water Lemeret, Spirit Mascot, Lewin Exchange Student, Tester of the Tangential, Abigail Poet Laureate, Scheming Silver Tongue is our rare. It's got Sign in Blood attached to it. Target creature draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. And then Locust Spray, uncommon. I saw the dark background. I got excited for a Vampiric Tutor for a second, obviously. That would have been too lucky. I also have a foil rare Tragedy Feaster. Luckily, the centering on that isn't too bad. 7/6 for 4 with Trample and Ward. Discard a card. What's the catch? At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a permanent unless you gained life this turn. Yeah, I knew there would be a catch. Not bad, though. I don't think it's a significant catch. I think that's pretty playable. Fields of Strife, Copy. We haven't seen many Copy tokens. And Spirit. And that Copy token's got a pretty nice anime art to it, so that's not bad. Kind of like that. Okay. Getting down to the wire, down to the last stack here. Let's see what we got. Glorious Decay, Sneering Shade Rider, Eager Glyph Mage, Run Behind, Tome Blast, Rancorous Archaic, Abstract Paint Mage, Sundering Archaic, Dissection Practice, Snarl Song, Dreamroot Cascade, another slow land, Burst Lightning, Uncommon Mystical Archive, and Shopkeeper's Bane in foil, along with a Form of Amity and Inkling Spirit Token. Okay, how many we got left here? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're down to the wire. Let's see what we get here. Feel like we need one big banger or something to really lift this box, because even at pre-release pricing, I do not think that this is going particularly strongly, at least not this time around, but that's okay. It's going to happen on the occasion, right? Borrowed Knowledge, Mika, Reader of Ruins, Scathing Shadelock, Applied Geometry, Improvisation Capstone. That one's got at least a little bit of value in it. I don't know how long it will persist. Pongify. We got the rare Pongify variant. Love the card. Don't know how I feel about it being the rare upgraded Mystical Archive in this, but we do get a foil Flow State. That's not bad. That's going to be that potentially valuable uncommon from this set. We'll have to see. Paradox Gardens with an Inkling Spirit. Okay, maybe a little bit of value contained in there, so that's not too bad. Mindful Biomancer, Ulna Alley Shopkeeper, Shattered Acolytes, Quick Study, Goblin Glass Rites, Spirit Mascot, Bogwater Laureate, Lameret, Impractical Joke, Fractal Tender, Arnin Deathbloom Botanist, and then another Slumbering Trudge. I get the feeling that those are going to be a dime a dozen. Pick Your Poison, and Borog Banemaker in foil, along with a Spectacle Summit in foil, and trash. Does anyone actually use those cards? I mean, like, it's not hard to get tokens nowadays. I mean, maybe for new players, but I feel like those probably are almost never used. Feels wasteful. Masterful Flourish, Owlin Historian, Banishing Betrayal, Heated Argument, Tenured Consector. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll have to look that one up. Biblioplex, Tome Keeper, Pigment Wrangler, Soaring Stone Glider, Social Snub, and Quandrix Charm with an Informed Inkwright. And a Requisition Raid, Uncommon Mystical Archive, and Foils Social Snub. Plains Elemental Treasure. Okay. Shopkeeper's Bane, Pull from the Grave, Rehearsed Debater, Spellbook Seeker, Revel Rouser, Stadium Title Mage, Pest Mascot, Pest Brood Sloth, Practiced Scrollsmith, Brush Off, and Planar Engineering. Sacrifice 2 lands, search your library for 4 basic lands, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. You need to be full of basics, though, for that. Probably not bad for standard or limited. Well, not standard, but limited. Stargaze, Uncommon, Mystical Archive, and Deluge Virtuoso in foil, along with a Spectacle Summit and Elemental Treasure. Okay. Down to the last, I think, 5. Send in the Pest. Honored Bound Page. Textbook Tabulator. Zealous Lorecaster. Wilt in the Heat. Pest Mascot. Divergent Equation. Carol Historian Buff. Proctor's Gaze. Poisoner's Apprentice. Magma Bond Archaic. That's our rare. I think that's the standard art of the card that we got earlier, the other Archaic. Return the Favor, Uncommon Mystical Archive with a foil Last Grasp, Full Art Mountain. Not a lot of full art lands in this, in the play packs, so that's okay. Fractal and Pest. It would help if we didn't get those junk cards. I'm pretty sure that those replace the lands, but that's okay. How difficult has it been to get this product for you guys? Honestly, I think play packs are pretty readily available. The Codex bundles are gone, if not forgotten. I don't know if they'll be at Micro Center or not, but they are very, very challenging to get. I will not be able to get out to Micro Center for this release, unfortunately, to be able to pick up some cheap product, but that's okay. I got at least enough of what I have. Let's see, especially since we're waiting for people to be on board with purchasing. Dual Tactics. Campus Composer, stand up for yourself. Aziza Mage Tower Captain with a Bitter Triumph Uncommon, Hydro Channeler foil, and a Plains with an Inkling Spirit. Last 3. Let's see what we get. It's interesting that they only chose to go with 3 different colors, given that there's 5 different houses. You would think that maybe they would do that, but maybe that was too expensive. Who knows? Okay. Noxious Newt, Barog Banemaker, Rapier Wit, Landscape Painter, Strife Scholar, Pushner's Trove, Witherbloom Charm. We got plenty of charms, so that's kind of nice. Fruit Project. Spectacular Whale. That's pretty cool art. I like that. Pox Plague, the new Pox. I'll be interested to see how that plays, but when you're talking 5 swamps for your casting costs, that's going to be a hard cast. Consolator's Duelist. Okay. Whenever this creature enters, draw a card. Each player loses 1 life. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets a creature, exile up to 1 target creature, return that card to the battlefield under your owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So it flashes it, sort of. Okay, ooh, nice. We got an uncommon stock up. Surprised I'm not seeing more of those, but that's a little bit of a shame, but at least we got 1. It's not bad. Arcane Omens, uncommon foil, with a foil Plains, Elemental, and Treasure. Okay, 2 more packs to find some fire. Let's see what we got here. you guys have had a wonderful week. It's been a busy one for me. I am exhausted and will be passing out the moment that this video is done. Hungry Graphalon, Last Gasp, Interjection, Banishing Betrayal, Ancestral Anger, Imperious, Ink Mage, Mind Roots, Tablet of Discovery, Orisa, Tide Choreographer. When this spell costs 3 less to cast if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater. Interesting. But when it enters, you can draw 2 cards. Mana Sculpt. Do wonder whether or not that one will get any value or not. I heard that one's going to be potentially a interesting card. Oh, we got our second Elder Dragon. Not bad. Silver Quill, the Disputant. Okay, not bad. I don't think... Oh, yep, it is on the list. Around 10 bucks, so that's not bad. And then Uncommon Monstrous Rage. With a Dissection Practice foil. And Titan's Grave. With trash. Okay, last one. Let's get some last pack magic. Let's see come on, a Vamp Tutor, Force of Will, Jessica's Will. Let's go ahead and get some fire from the main set. Come on, let's get something here. Okay. Efflorescence, Melancholic Poet, Stone Docent, Muse's Encouragement, Imperious Ink Mage, Terrafractal, Simone's Experiment, Borrowed Knowledge, Mika, Reader of Ruins, Scathing Shadelock. Let's see what we got. Great Hall of the Biblioplex. Probably not the fire we were looking for. Let's see if we got anything else here. Triumph of the Hordes. Okay, we have a Mythic. Okay, that's not too bad. I think that one is on the list. Let's see. Yeah, Triumph of the Horde right over here. Go away. Triumph of the Horde, we're sitting close to around, yeah, not bad, $15. So that's not too bad. And then a foil Inkling Mascot. Okay. Hey, I'll take it. It's something. It's a little bit of value there towards the end. We were desperately needing it. We'll go ahead and total these up and see what we got. Hey guys, it's been a few days, but we've been able to go ahead and go through all the cards. A bit of a dud box. No big surprise. I mean, that's going to happen sometimes, especially with these 30-pack boxes. You know, we got at least a little bit of value out of here, but we didn't make the mark in regards to how much we paid. Certainly not even close to MSRP. So, you know, not ultimately surprised, but definitely a little bit of a letdown. But the nice thing is, one, these are still really early pricings. We don't know what's going to happen with this, you know, moving down the line. There could be some gems in here that could accrue some crazy value that we're not expecting. And two, you know, this is the first box we've opened. I'm still excited for the set. There's very playable cards, lots of creep that's been going on in regards to the power of a lot of these cards. There's still a large potential for this set to really succeed. Even from the playbox perspective, I am still extremely excited for collector box openings. I think that's where the value is going to be in this set. But the play boxes, they're not meant for value. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to find fun, playable cards that you can get into your decks and really, you know, have some fun with. But because this is kind of like a financial breakdown, we'll kind of go through the numbers. Our total value in regards to cards above $1 amounted to about $77.86. That was across 18 cards. Not a huge amount of value there. Cards below $1, for what it's worth, were around $64, spread across 413 cards. Total value for the box was sitting around $141.92. Again, technically above the purchase value, but not the mark that we're looking for in terms of successful buy in these boxes to my criteria. In terms of the cards that we actually got that were above $1 and worth noting, the Witherbloom, the Balancer is definitely the top hit, sitting around $13.84, so nearly $14. The Improvisation Capstone held around a $7.32 value. Silver Quill, the Disputant, that one went down to about $6, not as good as Witherbloom, although I'd be interested to see how that trends. It's very possible that number could go upwards. We don't know. The Emeritus of Abundance was only around $4.45. Not one of the more expensive Emerituses that are out there, and it was the only one that we pulled, but that's okay. The Resonating Loot actually had a little bit of value, around $3.68, and I'm not ultimately surprised. It sounds like a pretty cool and playable card. I'd like to see how that one plays into a lot of decks. And then the Mathemagics only was around $4.21. I think that one might rebound as well once people kind of realize how to play with that card. You kind of have to know how to use it, but I do wonder. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one. In terms of the Mystical Archives, we actually got a pretty good Mythic and Rare pull rates. We hit 1 Mythic and 3 Rares. We did get the Triumph of the Hordes at around $12.57. And then the next hit that we got for Rares was the Pongify at $1.62. We did hit the Stock Up Mystical Archive at about $1.41 as an uncommon. But other than that, everything else amounted to less than $1. We did also hit 2 Flow States, 1 in foil, which is kind of cool. The foil Flow State actually accounted for the 3rd most expensive card in the whole box. Well, 4th most expensive, sitting around $6.32. The non-foil at around $3.38. Reading through that card, that one's going to be a banger. I feel like that's going to be the next stock up. The problem is that Aether Drift was barely opened because no one liked the theme. So now that this set has both Stock Up and Flow State in it, I suspect this set is going to be widely opened and the values are going to balance out better than what Stock Up did. Stock Up really shot off with the only release in Aether Drift, and Secrets of Strixhaven, it's going to be very widely open. There's going to be a lot of copies on the market. But I will say the pricing of that Stuck Up and Mystical Archives, beautiful art, much better than the original in my opinion. Like, that's the playable art that I would want. I might consider investing in a few copies of that. Like, that's a pretty good card if you can get it at that $1.40 mark. Anything less than $2, I feel like that's a good long-term investment. So, we're going to go ahead and see. I might take a look into that, but, still up in the air on that. So if you haven't already heard, I'm going to be taking a step away from the channel for a little bit. It's not going to be a permanent step away. I will be returning in a few months. A lot of this is a personal and family-oriented reason. It's nothing to do with my health. I appreciate anyone asking. It's nothing to do with the health of the channel. This is still a long-term plan. I do not intend for this channel to fade away, and it's really just a priority issue. I have to prioritize some family issues over this channel, unfortunately, and I have to get that figured out. With that in mind, I am hoping for a full return back to normal with my 2 weekly releases and videos, 1 long, 1 short, when I return in July. That's kind of my goal. I will still be making some shorts in the meantime, but they won't be as frequent and they won't be as planned. They'll just be as I can find the time. I just don't want you guys to think that I'm deserting. There will still be all of the communities that I've set up between the YouTube, the Discord, the Patreon. All those will still be active, but I'm just going to be adjusting things a little bit in the short term. Basically, a lot of people have asked me, like, how can we support you? The biggest thing, first off, do not send me any money. I'm not looking for money. That's not what this is about. This is a family and timing kind of concern where I just need to prioritize my time the right way. All I can ask for you guys is to stay subscribed to the channel. Keep watching any videos that come out. If you haven't checked out my previous videos, check them out. See if you like them. Give me feedback. I'm looking for that feedback so that way when I come back in July, I can make according adjustments so that way we can make this the best channel I can. Share it with your friends. If you have any friends that are big Magic enthusiasts that like to watch YouTube box openings, card openings, collection buys, all of that kind of stuff, please share it around. Have them give me feedback. Have them subscribe. I won't be doing giveaways during this time, but let them know, if they want free cards, there will be giveaways coming up, when July comes around. Join the Discord. Say hi. I'm still around. I'm still on the Discord. I would love the messages of support. I'm more willing to kind of give you more information, through that, but I'm not going to be releasing any personal information here. I don't think that's appropriate. And then for those that are truly invested and truly interested, take a look at the Patreon. I know that it hasn't gotten a lot of traffic. I know that it hasn't picked up a lot of members. There's a couple people that have been interested, but at the end of the day, the collector box openings, they won't really excel and exceed until we get that Patreon community going. So what I've decided to do is I've paused Patreon billing for the next 2 months. I've already started it. It will only let me pause it through May 26th. I will be repausing it again at the end of that pause. So that way, no one gets billed in that time. Use that time to take a look at the Patreon, see what it has to offer, see if it has something that you're interested in. And if there is, go ahead and claim your slot. I did not want to have unlimited slots on everything here. Some of these things are pretty time consuming for me, and some of them are pretty expensive for you. I want to make sure that we have the right balance. But there is only so many slots, so if it is something that you're truly interested in and want to get involved in the community, by all means, go ahead and join. I would love to, have you as part of our community, and we'll go ahead and talk and, communicate, and we'll share like what my plans are when I return in July, because I really want to have some really cool stuff for us to be able to pick up on. Marvel's going to be coming out again. I'm not going to be super involved in Universes Beyond, but we can double back to Strixhaven. We can double back to Loreway. We have tons of other sets that we can double back to and make this a really fun and awesome community. And it will be a nice US-based community, which there's not a lot of great US-based Patreon opening groups that I've been able to find. So please feel free to take a look. I want to really thank you guys. I did not know how this community and this channel would do when I first launched. I'm honestly really happy with the progress that we've made. Yeah, I haven't gone viral. I don't really care to. That's not my goal. My goal is to find a community of like-minded individuals that love this game and have felt passionate about the fact that we found this system where you can take ink, put it on cardboard, find a way to play this game that develops into a lifelong bond between people and into an amazing community. My hope is that when I return, we can continue to build off of what we've done so far and really turn this into something where we can have a community of people that love to talk about this amazing game, the cards that they want to show off that they've been able to open, the way that they've been able to win and lose. Sometimes it's better to have someone to be able to bond with over that too. Definitely come back. I will be back. I will be doing this again. I don't care if the whole channel completely collapses and I'm down to 0 members. I will be back in July, and we will be doing this all over again. Thank you guys so much for supporting me so far, and I truly hope that when I come back, I'll be able to see you guys again. Thank you again.